Hello everyone, we just returned from breakfast at Boma. This is the very first day it has reopened, and this is the very first buffet that has come back to Walt Disney World since everything reopened, and we can't wait to tell you about it.
We personally are not very big breakfast eaters most of the time, but we make an exception for Boma because we absolutely love the food here. We like breakfast and dinner, which is why here for opening day we booked breakfast this morning and dinner later on tonight. So we are very excited to get up here and try all the food and see what it's like with a buffet back. It's going to be a little bit weird because we haven't had buffets in a very long time, but we're excited to go back and check it out.
Boma is located at Animal Kingdom Lodge Jambo House on the first floor. It can be a little tricky to get there because you do have to go off to the right and either take the elevator or the stairs. We made our way down there, and breakfast here is $29 for adult and $17 for kids, which is actually a really good price for a buffet at Walt Disney World.
Even though I'm not big on breakfast, I know I can eat $29 worth of food because they have a carving station and all kinds of other good stuff here, so I'll find a way to get enough food. Once we got over to our table and got seated, our server informed us when we tried to order drinks that we could not have the Jungle Juice or the Pog Juice or the Stitch Juice, whatever you want to call it. They do not have the Pog Juice anymore here at Boma or anywhere else because Coke has discontinued Pog Juice altogether. Coke, what are you thinking?
So disappointed in you.
Pog Juice is amazing. Who made that decision? Someone's not thinking right. You gotta bring that back, Coke. Come on. Apparently, Disney was the main buyer of Pog Juice, and when everything shut down, Coke was trying to cut some costs, and they decided that was one of the things to cut. And I'm still a little heartbroken about it because that juice was so good.
They do still have apple juice and orange juice just like you'd expect for breakfast, just no more Pog Juice, which was really disheartening and really sad for like the first thing we're going to order and see what they have here on the menu. That's the first thing we order and they don't even have it. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. If you do have an allergy, they do have an allergy-friendly menu that lets you know what you can and cannot have based on your allergy. If you are like me, however, and cannot have food coloring, that is not listed on the allergy-friendly menu. So they did have a chef come out and take me to the buffet and tell me all the things I could and could not have at the buffet. There were actually quite a few things that I couldn't have. I mentioned that I was surprised because I have been here before everything shut down. There were several things I could have before. He said many of their suppliers did change. With that, that means a lot more food coloring in some of the foods. I completely understand that things happen, so I was very appreciative that he went through and told me everything I could and could not have. It was just a very limited menu for me.
Up first on the buffet were the grilled tomatoes and grilled asparagus, as well as the creamy pap, which is similar to grits. It's just a little bit different, and they have some tomato stew to go with the grits. It was pretty good, but not my favorite thing on the menu. I continued on over to the carving station where they did have ham and a chef up there carving it up for you. So I got some of the ham there, and then they had the bobotie, which is kind of like an egg casserole dish that has some vegetables and some ground meat in it. It's a really unique flavor, the blend of all the veggies and everything. I'm not a huge fan of it. I try it every time we come, but I don't know, I just don't love it. So I kind of pass on that because if I don't love it, I'd rather get something else that I do love. One of the chefs recommended that I try the oatmeal. They have two different oatmeals, regular and coconut oatmeal, and I've never tried the coconut oatmeal. So I tried it, and this stuff was amazing. I tried it with a little bit of honey with it, but it really didn't even need the honey. It had a ton of flavor on its own. Of course, if you don't like coconut, probably not a good idea, but I love this coconut oatmeal.
Our friend that was with us also loved it. He put brown sugar in his, said it was amazing, and we ended up talking to someone else later and they're like, did you have the coconut oatmeal? It was amazing. So this is definitely something, if you love coconut, you have to try the coconut oatmeal because this is up there in the top 5 you must try when you're here. In the next section, they had some pretty basic breakfast items. They had bacon, sausage links, and tater tots. The one thing that was different were the fried plantains. These are really good if you do enjoy plantains. And next up, we had some pancakes. We had regular pancakes, blueberry pancakes, which were very good, made with fresh blueberries. And they had Mickey waffles because we're at Disney World. But because we're at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they also had Simba waffles, which of course are a lot of fun. In the next window, we would normally find the made-to-order omelets. Unfortunately, that is not something they are doing anymore. Something they can't do right now, we understand. So they have already prepared omelets. They had a Western, cheese, and ham and cheese. These were okay. They honestly weren't great, but I also know that's because our expectations were a little higher because we used to get them fresh. We did enjoy them, but I just didn't think they were as good as they used to be.
They also had some regular scrambled eggs if you want those, as well as some scrambled eggs with spinach and feta in there. And then they had the salad area, which was really only one type of salad. It was individual little bowls. It was papaya, grapefruit, and avocado, which sounded like a very weird combination to me. So I had to try it and see what it tasted like. It indeed did taste like a very weird combination. I wanted to like it because I thought these have to go together somehow. I couldn't figure out how they were supposed to go together. I liked the grapefruit okay on top because it's just by itself, but with the papaya and the avocado, just a very weird mix. Then they had the fruit station with mixed fruit and grapes and watermelon, and then watermelon with mint and pistachios, which also had me very curious because I know I like watermelon and mint in like lemonade and stuff, so it should probably be pretty good. The watermelon was super fresh. I love that. Really juicy, really ripe. But the watermelon with mint and pistachios was again a really weird dish. And I know Boma is like adventurous palate to an extent, but I just didn't like the mint and pistachio with the watermelon, so I just got more of the regular watermelon. They don't have a yogurt station anymore where you can make your own yogurt, but they do have prepared parfaits. It was a berry yogurt and then just a regular vanilla yogurt with some blueberries in it and some strawberry slices. This was actually really good. The blueberries in it were huge and they had just the right amount of fruit for the amount of yogurt in there. I was really happy with the parfaits.
Next up, they had boiled eggs, deviled eggs, meats, and cheeses. Now the deviled eggs were really unique because it had salmon on top. This was really, really good. I loved the flavors of this. I actually haven't had deviled eggs in a while, so this was really enjoyable. I was actually not sure if I would like the flavors together, but it totally worked. This was definitely something you have to try.
They have a ton of pastries and breads here. They have blueberry muffins and apple turnovers and guava turnovers and chocolate chip muffins. And they have a huge spread of regular breads like sliced bread and bagels of different types with peanut butter and different kinds of jelly and butter and stuff like that. And they have a huge tray of cinnamon rolls in the shape of a giant Mickey head. Well, kind of a giant Mickey head.
No, it was not a Mickey head because someone made a bow, which means it's a mini head, and I appreciated that because apparently I was the only one that noticed this. When I said something about it, the chef looked at me and went, huh, I've never noticed that. I was like, Minnie does not get enough love, let me tell you. So to the person who put a bow on there, thank you so much because I noticed and I appreciated it.
And what I noticed and appreciated was the sticky buns. Oh my goodness, those things are so good. And the French toast bread pudding. You take the French toast bread pudding with a little bit of the vanilla sauce and the sticky buns with that sticky topping for it. Oh, that is the perfect ending to a breakfast. It will probably give you cavities immediately, but it is 100% worth it unless you hate raisins, in which case you're probably not gonna like the bread pudding because there are raisins in there. But I love this. I had way more of it than I probably should have, but it's so good and always a favorite here at Boma.
And adding to all of the bread, that was actually not the only thing we got. I couldn't have any of the turnovers because there's food coloring in them. So they actually found some in the back I could have, and I was so shocked when the server brought them out. So the chef found these in the back. These are just for you. You can eat them. They're apple turnovers and they don't have any food coloring. And I was so appreciative. This was so incredibly sweet. So I did get to try them after all.
Like I said before, we're not big on breakfast, but that changes when we're here at Boma because they have really good breakfast food here on the buffet, especially like, you know, the French toast bread pudding. That one's always a favorite of mine. But I was really glad we got to come here for reopening day. The food was great, just like we remembered it being before when we came out here. I think we got our money's worth for the amount of food that we ate and the amount we paid for the meal. Overall, I would say I'd recommend breakfast at Boma still, even though it's a little bit weird having a buffet because it's been so long. It feels awkward when you're serving yourself. Like, am I supposed to be touching things? But they do have the hand sanitizer stations. You are wearing a mask and you're supposed to serve yourself. So I guess we just have to get used to it again because it's just been so long.
But of course, because it was a buffet, we went up many, many times to get as much food as we possibly could, because when you go to a buffet, you have to eat as much as you can so that you basically roll out of there. And we are definitely feeling it right now. And we have dinner in just a few hours over there, so we're gonna have to try and work all this off so we can eat a lot later as well. If you'd like to see that review, it will be up very soon and we'll be sure to link it once it's live. Thank you so much for watching this review. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.
We're here with the ears.